Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. So in this video, we'll be exploring about ZEGOCLOUD's UI chat kits, and I'm excited to walk you through how you can, easily add powerful communication features to your applications using their tools. And we'll basically cover everything from a introduction point, that is introduction to ZEGOCLOUD, their low-code UI kits, and how to get a free account, and a hands-on tutorial in this particular video, that is how to build and integrate a simple chat related application, that is by just using their UI kits. So let's get started. If you find this interesting, please do the like button and do subscribe for more such content. So by the end of the video, you'll see the app in action. That is a basic, simple, minimalistic app that allows you to integrate a chat based functionality. So now talking about ZEGOCLOUD. So ZEGOCLOUD is a leading global communication service provider that empowers developers like you to build engaging real-time interactions for your application. So they basically offer developer-friendly SDKs and API that you can directly use into your apps, and then you can try to integrate it. So in this tutorial, we're going to explore about your UI kits, that is the chat-based UI kits, and we'll be implementing a simple kind of application as I earlier told. So let's get started. So initially I've created a fresh new React native project. You can check it out over here, and I've just initialized my navigation into the system. I'll be showing you all of the dependencies you need to install. Okay, you can check out my package.json. So make sure to install all of these dependencies for the application to work. Okay, so make sure to install your ZEGOCLOUD Zim kit, and then -rn, your React delegate component, React Native linear gradient. I don't think that's required. Yeah, these two things: React Native safe area context, React Native screens, as well as Zego Zim React Native. Okay, make sure to install this, and I've just created a basic navigation file over here, that is app navigation.tsx. And here essentially I have three screens. One is the login page, one is the home page where all of the message list or the conversation list is going to be shown. Then the final is going to be the message list page where we're going to chat, either a group based chat or a single one-on-one chat. So let's start implementing this. So first of all, let me show you how exactly you can create an account. I think the steps are simple. You can go ahead and then create your own account, and once you create that, you can press on my account. It will take you to the ZEGOCLOUD console, that is basically your dashboard. And once you log in, you would be getting free 10,000 minutes of trial. As you can see, once I have logged in, you would be basically given 10,000 minutes of usage. Okay, that's a really good thing. So apart from that, you can try to create your app. So as you can see, previously I've created two apps. One is for the chat, one is for the video call app. So you can try to create a new project by pressing on this. And since we are building an in-app chat, I'm going to press on this option, and you can press on next. Okay, you can give a project name. I'm going to say chat application, and I'm going to press on continue over here. This should take in a couple of minutes to initialize and give the project to us. So let's wait for that. As you can see, it's creating the project. Okay, so there you go. It says your project is created, and then start building your app. Let's press on this. So this would take you to this particular page, okay, where it is going to show all of your projects that are created. So our project is this one. So it says it is creating. So that's the reason it's currently disabled over here. Alright, so now the next step is, yeah, it is still creating. So we can actually come back to your login page. We can try to initialize the code over there. So once the app is created, it would give you two things: your app ID as well as the app sign. So that is important for you to configure. Okay, let's come back over here, and let's head back to the login page. So as of now, we just have the login text, and as you can see, it is being shown at the center part of the screen because of the style that's given. Here I'm going to initialize my navigation. I'm going to say const navigation is going to be equals to use navigation. Import that from React navigation. And also I forgot to tell you one more thing, that is once you come back to package.json, and once you install all of these dependencies, make sure to do a pod install and try to do a fresh build, that is cut your terminal and then again hit yarn iOS. Okay, so let's come back to your login page.tsx over here, and after this I'm going to initialize my app config. I'm going to say const app config is going to be equals to app ID. This would be coming from the backend part, that is from ZEGOCLOUD, and app sign over here a value. Okay, I'll be entering this in just a bit. So now here let's try to configure the use effect. So import use effect, it's already imported from React. So here we need to initialize the init method. Here I'm going to say zimkit dot init. Okay, so this in turn is going to take in your app config dot your id as well as your app config dot app sign. Okay, then we're going to make use of the connect user method. I'm going to say zim connect dot connect user, and here I'm going to say your user id, that is going to be user, or you can pass in any kind of string over here, and your username, I'm going to enter my name over here. Okay, then over here is an empty string, and after this I'm going to apply the dot then method, and here I'm just going to say navigation dot navigate to your home page once the user is initialized and user is connected to the chat. So I'm going to say home page over here. Okay, so let's come back over here, make the changes. Let's reload once. Hopefully we should be able to access the project, or I can show you in the previous projects as well. Yeah, so we can access this. Let's press on that. So this is my app ID, copy that, and this is my app sign. Okay, and for this to work, you need to head back to service management, go to your in-app chat, and make sure you activate this, otherwise it wouldn't work. Okay, I'm going to say activate this workflow. I'm going to say ready to activate. Okay, so it says in-app chat service is being activated, so please wait. So you can copy down these two values, that is app id app sign, and paste it over here. So I'm going to paste in my values over here. Alright, so I've just pasted in my app config over here. Let's try to save the file, and boom, just like that, since this configuration worked correctly fine, we were able to navigate to the home page. Okay, so also make sure to activate that. That is what I said over here. So to activate again, I'm going to show you the steps. Come back to service management, in-app chat, and it is being activated. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for now. So now we need to design the homepage.tsx. So the configuration step is done. So here basically we're going to show your conversation list that is of the current user. So here let's try to initialize the navigation. I'm going to say const navigation is going to be equals to use navigation. Okay, and yeah, first of all, let's try to initialize the design over here. I'm going to say conversation list. So conversation list, and this in turn is going to take in on pressed is going to be equals to on pressed. We need to define that. Furthermore, I'm going to say style for this, some internal styling. I'm going to pass in a width of 100% and a height of 200. Okay, and I'm going to say on error is going to be equals to error over here, and I'm going to just give it a console message. So console dot error conversation list error, that particular error message, and I'm going to say alert dot alert error. I'm just going to say failed to load conversation. So let's try to import two things from ZEGOCLOUD dependency, that is your conversation list as well as the Zim kit. So we're going to use the Zim kit in just a bit. So below this we're going to have three options: create group chat, create single chat, as well as join group chat. So let's say button over here, and I'm going to say title. This is going to say create group chat, and I'm going to say on press. This is going to be equals to create group chat. So we're going to define all of these functionalities or all of these functions in just a bit. So button title for this, it's going to be create single chat. So I'm going to say create single chat. On press, that's going to be equals to create single chat. Okay, so add a button over here. Title, here I'm going to say join your group chat, and on press is going to be equals to join group chat. Okay, that's it. So now let's try to define each of the functions over here, starting off from your create group chat or create single chat. That's pretty simple to initialize and define. So I'm going to say const create single chat is going to be equals to a normal arrow function. Here we can try to have in the user ID. I'm going to say const user ID of the user you're going to chat with. Here I'm going to say user2. Then I'm going to say console.log starting single chat with user ID, and also make sure that is for the third screen, that is message list screen. It is not just going to be the screen, it is going to be imported directly from your ZEGOCLOUD. As you can see, I think I forgot to say this step. Okay, so these two components are obviously going to come from those screens, as you can see, whereas for the third component it is going to be from your ZEGOCLOUD ZEMKit RN, and we're going to configure that in a better way. Okay, I'll be showing you that in just a bit. Currently it is empty itself, right? So let's come back to home page over here, and once the logging part is done, I'm going to say go to message list page, and we also need to define that. So here I'm going to say go to message list page. Here this is going to take in basically three things: your conversation ID, so conversation ID, that is going to be your user ID, and your conversation name, so conversation name, that is going to be your user ID. Furthermore, your conversation type, so conversation type, that is going to be 0. Okay, let's define the function that is go to message list page. Let's say on to the top over here, I'm going to say const go to message list page is going to be equals to props. Here I'm going to say navigation dot navigate. In this case it's going to be equals to message list, so I'm going to say message list page. Okay, so take in the props, and over here I'm going to say app bar actions. Here I'm going to say icon, I'm going to say go back, and on pressed, not, yeah, I think it's on press itself. Here it's going to be navigation dot go back. Okay, first the colon as well as the function. Here navigation dot go back. Okay, this part is done, and yeah, that's it. Let's try to save the file, or yeah, we need to create these two functions as well, that is on pressed as well as create group chat and create single chat. Create single chat is done. Create join group chat, that was the third one. So I'm going to say const join group chat is going to be equals to normal arrow function, and here I'm going to say const, the next one is going to be for your create group chat, so create group chat. Okay, so yeah, this part is done, and the final one is going to be for your on press. On press is simple. I'm going to say const on pressed is going to take in the props, and here we just directly going to say get, not get, go to message list page of the props. That's it. Okay, so we can try to save the file. Okay, so yeah, there is some issue. It's showing error view. For some reason it's showing error view, otherwise it should have actually shown the conversations. Let's look into that, not sure why. So we are importing conversation list correctly fine. That is from your ZEGOCLOUD ZEMKit RN. Yeah, that's the correct step. And here that's the correct spelling. Conversation list on press is going to be on pressed, and on error. Okay, yeah, so we do have all of that. Yeah, let's look into that in just a bit. So let's try to complete the functions for join group chat as well as create a group chat. So initially for the join group chat, again we're gonna have your group ID being passed. I'm going to say const group ID is going to be equals to group1. Then here I'm again going to say ZEMKit dot we have the join group method. So join group of your group ID dot then of the data. Here you can try to log the data. I'm going to check if not of data dot code. Let's write that properly, code. Then here I'm going to say go to message list page with all of the similar details, that is conversation ID, basically these details, add that over here. So your conversation ID is going to be equals to your group ID or your data dot group info dot your base info dot group ID, and your conversation name is going to be equals to data dot group info dot base info dot group name. So data dot group info dot your base info dot your group name, and your conversation type is going to be 2. Okay, else here we can just show the alert message with the console.error message. So I'm just going to add it just like this. Okay, and we can try to implement the catch block over here. That is after this, I'm just going to say dot catch of error. I'm going to say dot catch of error, that is console.error, and then we're going to say create group error with that particular error. Else again we're going to show the alert box. Let's try to save the file. So final code is for your create group chat over here. So this in turn is going to have in your group name to create. I'm going to say group name is going to be equals to your test group. You can pass in any group name. So test group, and I'm going to say const user IDs is going to be equals to your user2 and const group ID is going to be equals to let's say a unique group ID. I'm just going to say make use of backticks. I'm going to say group as well as date.now. That would give a unique ID. So $date.now. Alright, then here I'm going to make use of again zimkit dot create group. Okay, this in turn is going to take in your group name as well as your user IDs for that particular group. In this only one user is there, as well as your group ID. So group ID. Okay, so dot then of the data that it gives. Here I'm again going to check if not of data dot code. Then get in the group info. I'm going to say const group info is going to be equals to data. Get in the basic info from here. I'm going to say const basic info is going to be equals to your group info. All right, then over here again, implement the go to message list page. Call that function over here, and I'm going to implement it over here. Conversation ID, it's going to be equals to base info dot group ID. So basic info dot group ID, then it's going to be equals to your basic info dot group name for the conversation name. So basic info dot group name. Conversation type is going to be 2. Again, else call this function or call this block of code which says console.error create group failed and fail to create a group within the alert box. Okay, so again catch over here, add it if at all there's any error while catching it, format, and then let's try to save the file. Let's try to rebuild the app. For some reason it's showing error view. Usually it should show the conversation list. If at all I have any conversation list for this particular app ID as well as app sign. Terminate. I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to say yarn iOS and then enter. Let's clear off the app and hopefully we should see something onto the screen. So yeah, so there you go. It says info found Xcode workspace. It's going to build up onto this particular simulator. Let's wait for a couple of minutes. So it's currently installing the app. So hopefully let's see what exactly happens. Okay, so it's still giving the error view. Not sure why. Let's look into that. And let's actually press on create single chat. Okay, so as you can see, it is giving something, but it is actually generating the chat for us, but we are unable to see the conversation list. So we need to look into that, why exactly it is not working correctly fine. So I'm gonna try out one more thing, that is I'm gonna come back to my home page and I'm gonna use my I'm gonna use my newly created projects, apps, and as well as app ID. So home page over here, not home page, my bad, login page. Let me make the changes. So it's actually finally working. I didn't do anything. I just try to reset the cache and then try to run the app again. And even over here there is no changes made. And I actually used my previous credentials itself, that is with my older project. So come back to login page and these are my credentials added. There is no other changes made. So essentially the code is same itself and it's working fine. Okay. So since while building up the project, I've already created one test group as well as one test user, and there you go, we're able to see the conversation list also being correctly shown, which is good. Okay, so once you press on user 2, it would take you to that particular message list, and actually there is no code to be written inside of message list. You can directly try to render it directly from the ZEGOCLOUD dependency, that is from this dependency. Okay, so let's come back to here. So essentially it's going to remain empty itself, and previously I had added some code that is just for some modifications and for some icons, but it is not actually needed. You can just directly try to render it from the dependency and it should work correctly fine. So let's say you go to your test group and boom, just like that, it is gonna bring you to this particular page. You can try to enter messages and you can try to customize this. Let's say good morning, and that should be sent over here, send, and there you go. So as you can see over here, basically the image for the person who has sent the message is not being correctly shown. So for that you can head over to Chrome. There is an option within the project, come back to service management. You can check out this thing, there is virtual avatar. Okay, so to activate the virtual avatar you can basically contact their technical support and you can try to configure them. Okay, so you can actually check out the docs as well, and inside the docs there would be some virtual avatars present for each of the chat, right? So this is about your test group. So this is a single chat that I've created. Okay, so I'm just going to say hi, it works again simply fine. Okay, so based on user 2, that is the name we have given, that is within the home page, that is your, where is that, the function for create single chat. There you go, the user ID is user 2. That's the reason it's gonna show the user ID over there. Okay, and that's pretty much it. You can press on create group chat, it is gonna take you to this particular new test group. Okay, so I'm gonna say the message test group over here and send, and just like that my message is sent, and currently this only consists of one user based on the user IDs that we have passed, as you can see over here. Okay, let's come back, and there you go, we have two test groups created, and the last message shown for that particular group is going to be shown over here. All right, so that's the basic understanding of your chat UI kits from ZEGOCLOUD. So it's that pretty simple. You can just try to initialize the user initially, and then you can basically create three basic functions for creating a single based chat or a group based chat, and by just implementing the conversation list you can try to implement the chat based interaction within your application. So hope you found this simple and easy, and if you found this interesting, please hit the like button and do subscribe for more such content. So let's see you in the next video, and then thank you for watching.